All right. Thank you once again, Damo. He is the one who had the video that I used and where I got most of my data and information. I did not get to play Union Cross myself. That's his. I put it in chat. That's his YouTube. He's fantastic. If you want to see any of the other stuff, we skipped over a lot of like bits and pieces of growth in it and everything because the game isn't accessible anymore, I don't think. But if you want any new pieces of it, definitely go check out his stuff. He's great. He's awesome at it. His explanations are fantastic. Definitely go see that. Now then, that was Union Cross. So now we know the origin of the darkness and how it split the worlds and how the Keyblade wielders fell and only the remnants of light remained. But that is all the old lore. After some time, as the worlds had continued to, I hear Union Cross, I think it's all set in the UK, a little, get everyone's British accents. That was terrible. Oh, I'm moving on. But as the worlds continue to live and go forward, you saw the birth of that one child. That one child, I believe, is the reincarnated heart of the player. Remember, the darkness followed the player. That will be important going forward. That child was born and given to the caretaker, as you saw, and placed on the island called Destiny Islands. So you may know that name. It's the first time we're hearing about it here on the stream, so let's not go forward too much. Now, Destiny Islands was a small place where the boy lived and grew up. And this led to... Well, hold on, give me 1 second. This led to... This led to... Oh, that's Union Cross. Oops. Okay, let's speed through all this. This led to the other offshoot phone game. There was a second phone game released, which contained the next part of the story, revolving around that boy, that young man that you saw with the silver hair and darker skin tone. It's called Kingdom Hearts Union Dark Road. And it's a story of how that boy became a Keyblade wielder himself and went off into the worlds and learned about some new things that intrigued him. That boy's name, which you will learn very, very well as we go, that boy's name is called Xehanort. Yes, very weird name. Spelled an X at the beginning. Xehanort. This young man lived on Destiny Islands as we saw, but he was always cramped there and always wanted to leave. Feeling a call to something greater, and experiencing dreams, not of his own, but of an unnamed individual, wielding a magic key and going off and having great adventures through multiple worlds with friends that he had met before. These, of course, are dreams of the player and everything from Union Cross. But they are just flights of fancy, surely nothing more. One day, however, this boy, this young man, he's not a boy at that point, young man, is visited by a strange hooded figure. He feels familiar in some degree. This figure, wow, I misspelled darkness. Holy crap, self. This figure opens a portal, a dark corridor. Remember, because moving between the worlds is normally not possible, but with darkness it is, because the worlds are full of dark, because the in-betweens are darkness anyway. Opens a dark corridor and says, go on ahead, basically points him forward and says, go. Xehanort, not having any fear in his heart, walks through that portal to a new future. As he walks through, he goes through the dark corridor and he feels hatred and negative feelings towards himself from things he doesn't realize and things that don't really connect. Feelings he's never felt before from others. But yet his resolve stays determined as he moves forward. And eventually, as he comes out, he ends up in a new place called Skad El Kala. You may recognize it. It's where Brain ended up later on. It was from the same time, I don't know, but I don't think so. When he ends up there, he integrates in and he meets a young boy named Ericus. A very bright-eyed boy, kind of lawful good kind of situation, but pretty fun. And the two became best friends. They spent time together and they did all kinds of fun things together and grew up together and kind of talked back and forth about darkness and light and things like that. Xehanort learned about the Keyblade wielders, which this boy was, and the remnant of Keyblade wielders found itself here at Descato Column in order to, maybe it is after Brain because Brain might have like continued the legacy. You know what, it might be after Brain because Ericus has the same Keyblade that Brain does, the same one that Ephraim had. So Ericus or Ericus? Ericus, because I've heard it pronounced before. Ericus. So with fledgling Keyblade wielders actually being able to go train and go in the world. So Xehanort and Ericus attend a class for Keyblade wielders. They're in there with a bunch of students, which you can see there, and their teacher Odin. It's not spelled phonetically. No, it is not. Xehanort, really? Like, really? That's the name you're getting caught up on? So they're Keyblade wielders, and they learn in this class together. And they learn to fight against the darkness, learn to wield Keyblades. And the seniors of the class, the higher class, had gone out onto the multiple worlds, traveling the worlds in order to learn and grow as well. And they would be sent out soon. Xehanort's an anagram. Yeah, it is. What is an anagram for, Epsilon? Now, this is very important. Give me a second. I have to give me 1 second. I have to put this. I have to get the PS4 because we need. Of course, there's an extra letter. There always is. We need this. Shoot, is it still going to pick up the capture? It will. Okay, thank goodness. Okay, hold on. We need to. I gotta switch out the game. Give me a sec. Just give me a sec. Messing with the streams. This is highly technical, mystical work. Give me a second. Very important. Very difficult. Very technical. Very, very hard to do. Isn't easy. So just bear with me here. I know you can all hear me. Just give me a second. Pop this in. Give me a second here. Okay. All right, just give me a second. Give me a sec. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. There we go. Give me a sec. I gotta let it go up stuff. Okay. So what we're gonna watch now is a little scene from back then at that time, and this scene actually comes from Kingdom Hearts 3, one of the latest games. Technically not the latest because of Melody of Memory, but the big release. Now, I'm not going to show you any spoilers, don't worry. This is taking place in this time period, so we're all good on that front. So I'll get it up first, make sure nothing else gets shown, so we're good to go. But I do want to show this, because it kind of has some good, building parts to it. It talks a little bit about what may be to come in the future. Come on. Give me a sec, I gotta get it all. Mystical stream work, wings, all that. It's very technical. Very, very, very difficult. Come on. Shouldn't take you forever and a year. It's actually kind of the same idea, but it's fine. Theater, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay. Go ahead and play it. Pause it real quick as it comes up. 1 second. Just one second. Make sure it comes up okay. Smooth transition. It's all great. You guys are good. See? No problems. Nothing's happening. We're all great here. Come on. This thing takes forever to load. Okay. Here we go. Boop. All right. So pay close attention to this. This actually has some really good. Send me some whispers in the message Discord. Okay, I'll check the Discord in a second. This has some good stuff for what's coming up much later, and to set the stage for the saga that we will be going on, because this is the beginning of it. So this is Scott Column, where Xehanort is learning to be a Keyblade wielder alongside Ericus working together. that's so cool, man. Look at that. I want to ride one of those gondolas. Oh, yeah, Scotland Column is very pretty. Oh, man, getting around there must stink. It might be kind of lopsided, like Shabby was.
Have you heard of the ancient Keyblade War?
We have!
Huh? Of course I have.
Long ago, Keyblade wielders waged a war over the ownership of light.
The Lux, remember? Them all fighting against each
Yeah,
other?
the Master's favorite story.
Odin, their master.
I wonder what they planned on doing with Kingdom Hearts after making it appear.
Who knows? I don't get why anyone would initiate a war.
To call Dad back, as we learned.
So, you know the Lost Masters.
Who?
They're the ones who started the Keyblade War.
Our animal-headed friends that we know.
Never heard of them. Where'd you hear about that?
Or, they're the ones for whom the war started.
I'm not following you.
You can drop the facade.
Facade?
On that land shall darkness prevail and light expire. A prospective Keyblade master should know this.
If you say so.
The gazing eye sees the fate of the world.
Look where we have over there!
The future.
What's that?
It's
What's
already
that,
there.
everyone?
Really? I'm not
Wonder
so
why
sure
it's
about
there.
that. Besides, who's to say I can't change it? And maybe light will prevail.
Pretty confident. But things aren't in your favor.
Perhaps, but unlike darkness, there's more to light than meets the eye. You might be surprised.
Oh, I hope so.
Right? So that's the two of them playing against each other and talking about things that are maybe yet to come. Now, back to our story about there it is, about Xehanort. Now, like I mentioned, they played chess together, they grew up together, they worked together. Now, what happened was the senior class was sent out in order to fight against the upcoming darkness, a problem that was happening in the worlds, and they never came back. So the younger class was sent out too to try to find out what was going on and fight. Unfortunately, things did not go very well. And while I don't know the full story, let's just say it didn't end in very pretty, you know. Yay. Man, the more really likes his tragedies, and these are not the only ones, by the way. You'll see more. So the other students maybe teach as well, like I wrote. Why is there so much loss in this? All perished whenever they went out to the real world in order to fight. The only ones who were left was Xehanort and Ericus. Now, Xehanort, with anger in his heart, swore that he would find a way to beat the darkness and put an end to this. He's tired of it. He's going to not let darkness control him. He's going to control it instead. Ericus doesn't like darkness. He and Xehanort fought a lot about it. Friendly fights, but you know they had their differences. But on good terms, at least from what Damo says, they parted with each other went their separate ways. Now, it was last slide. Now, I say they went their separate ways. Xehanort went on in order to find more answers. So he went out into the world in order to search and to find, to learn. Now, on these journeys, he actually met someone very important that we've come to know pretty well. And I want to share that with everyone too. One sec. I have to find it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Come on, man. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, this is it. This is it. I have to hold on. I have to find this one because it's Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't want to spoil anything. So hold on. Give me a sec. Let me manage through the streams here. I'm actually familiar with this stuff, so give me a sec. I can find it. I just have to make sure that we got the right one. There's an important scene that we need. God, this thing takes forever. Nope, not that. Next scene. Is this it? Where is that thing? Hold on. Give me a sec. Nope. Come on. Where's that scene? Oh, this is it. Is this it? This is it. I think this is it. Come on. Tell me it's it. I won't know until it goes a little bit. Very, very important thing. Come on. Yeah, I know when I'm looking. Yes. Okay, this is it. Excellent. Okay. So this scene is young Xehanort whenever he's traveling through the worlds, and as he's traveling, he runs into someone that he has met with before. This is not their first meeting. We don't get a look at their first meeting, but he's meeting with them after having traveled the worlds and learned more. And he'll have a little bit to say about darkness and his take on it and what he thinks he can do about it. So let's take a little peek here.
So?
Recognize the voice?
Yeah. It wards off darkness. It's useful.
Told ya. So, how'd it go?
So now you know both Lushu and the Master of Masters. By the way, that's him. But I thought he went away. Did he jump through time? Those cloaks that the Master of Masters and Lushu wear. Remember how I said you can't travel the world because of the darkness. But these cloaks, because they're black and they're shrouded, so they kind of like mimic darkness itself. If you looked at darkness's sprite in KHX, it kind of looked like it was wearing a cloak like that. So maybe it's because you mimic it. It actually wards darkness and lets you move through darkness freely. So the cloak is useful, and the Master of Masters bequeathed it to a young Xehanort who we met with.
The tour. I learned the reason for my existence.
Oh? Tell me more.
I love the
All
Master of
around the
Masters.
world,
Tell me.
people live seemingly peaceful lives. They believe themselves to be moral and virtuous, but it's all an act.
Not a righteous, no, not one. It's true.
Darkness lurks in the pit of everyone's heart.
Technically true.
Their light is a total farce.
Sounds like your trip around the world opened your eyes, but you got a little bit more than you anticipated. You must have seen a lot of darkness.
The same darkness, remember, that spread because of the events that we saw that was able to enter other worlds and spread out.
Are weak, and who desire greater power, simply strip the strong of their power and convince themselves they've earned it. That's how people become tainted by darkness.
Remember,
they believe what they want to believe, using hollow reasons as justification. They repeat this cycle, and their darkness grows.
So you're saying the weak feel the need to justify their actions to maintain a sense of self. Can't let that slide?
No. It's better they be ruled by darkness. People carry delusions of having power, but it's a lie. They are but sheep pretending to be wolves. Though I admit, I can understand why.
Oh, I've never heard that one before. A Keyblade wielder willing to side with the darkness? Why not just let them be until the darkness consumes them?
Because left alone, the world would fall to chaos. There needs to be order. Which we have seen before.
You sure about that? Why not just sit back and watch it play out?
Like you do?
Understanding hearts is difficult. More so the emotions within. I simply realize that it's easy to dismiss what you don't comprehend.
All right, all right. The world needs you. I'll grant you that one.
I don't know what I can do, but I will act. What comes next is too important.
I suppose letting false light dictate the future might be a pretty lousy move. So, you can make a change. You have that power. What do you want for the world?
Power, eh? Who knows? My training's coming to an end, and the exam's not far.
Sorry, this was before everyone died. My bad. This is before everyone died. This is before the graves. I'm sorry. I messed that up. I should have done the research a little better beforehand. This is before the graves. We'll revisit that scene for you. I mean, he orchestrated all this.
Off. Maybe I can gain some clarity then.
You're letting the exam decide? Listen to me. The results don't matter. You believe the world needs you. Sounds like you already know where you're headed.
It's funny. Somehow, I can sense where I'm supposed to go, and what I'm supposed to do. Yes. Even this coat. There's something familiar about it. As if I'm meant to wear this.
I will let you guys know that's not about Lu Shu and the Master of Masters. I'll give you that. It's not about that.
No. You'll ditch it soon.
What do you mean?
I mean that one day you're going to outgrow it.
How so?
If you truly possess great power, the darkness can't control you. You won't need a silly old coat to stay safe. In fact, you'll be the one controlling the darkness instead. Me, on the other hand, I'm too much of a scaredy cat to ever take mine off.
That's why he always wears it. Or maybe because...
Who are you, really? Some kind of fortune teller?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I could lie and tell you that's what I am when I'm actually a brilliant artist, or even a scholar. I could tell you that I dream of world peace, when I'm actually planning for its destruction.
Gosh, don't be like this!
The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.
So, your name?
What did I just... Never mind. I guess there's no harm. My name is...
Why don't we get to hear it? Ah!
I'm a lost master.
Lost Master?
May your heart be your guiding key.
What is your plan, dude? I still... Alright. Gotta get off that. Sorry about that. That could be some spoilers if I don't be careful. Alright. Okay. And that scene is from Kingdom Hearts 3, the DLC, actually, which is in post-game, so it's super late. But it is in the timeline that we're on, so I didn't show anything that wouldn't be within the timeline that we know. So I kept it true to that. So that is the final step. With that, and then I'm sorry, that's not the final part. I did it wrong. I owe you guys a true look. As you remember, I'll show you again. It's very important. You see this again. So I'll do it again. That's my fault. I'm going to correct the mistake, of course. So why does it restart everything? Oh my gosh. I hate this. Let's freaking go here. Just go here. Just start the thing. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Okay. Then he takes the Master Mark of Mastery and all his friends die and all that. It's very sad. So, that is... right click and start was like, I know. I'm just annoyed. So with that, let me try to get this up too. With that, we have covered the deep lore of Kingdom Hearts. So, we've covered 2 areas. Union Cross, which is the first thing, includes back cover, which is the old masters with all the animal heads, and then obviously all of the stuff with Ephemer and Brain and all of that in the datascape, and all the worlds came, the world came to an end, darkness overcame, and then there was a lot of time passed where all the worlds kind of settled themselves. Xehanort was born and grew up, and then Dark Road, where Xehanort found a new world, took place in it, gained control of a Keyblade, met with the Master of Masters, and learned of his purpose, which will set in motion, or maybe just continue the motion, depending on how you look at it, for what's to come for our future. This is the old lore of Kingdom Hearts, and we've covered it in the Kingdom Hearts Chronicles. And that will conclude today's deep dive into the streams of Kingdom Hearts. So, when we return on next Thursday, we will finally, I know that today was nothing but exposition, basically, and I'm very sorry about that. Blame Nomura for the phone game. I didn't put it on there. Imagine if you put it on a system. That would actually be awesome. Dang, I wish it was on a system. But once again, thank you to Damo. He is fantastic. I'll go to the specific Damo slide. Thank you to Damo. He is fantastic. Damo279. You'll look at his YouTube channel. He's fantastic. Actually, can I repost that again? I can. Damo's YouTube channel. He's fantastic. I'll include it into the links of the YouTube videos as well. I will be uploading this to YouTube in its own playlist if I can. And I'll include it there. And it will include his stuff. So thank you so much for that, Damo, if you are watching. I greatly appreciate the use of your videos. Full credit to you and your awesomeness. Thank you for paying out the ear. I saw some of the stuff you spent for this. Thank you. And with that, we will have concluded our deep dive. I know it was a lot of exposition once again. Next time we dive in, we will be diving into the streams themselves, into stuff I've covered before, and I'll guide us through. Our next stop is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, in which we will see an old face that actually we've seen before, as well as two other Keyblade wielders, and one face we've seen before, and their journey into the first step of what we will know as the Xehanort Seeker of Darkness saga, which is what we will be covering moving forward with this. Thank you so much for joining. I know that this was a new kind of thing. I know that we'll be updating the timeline as we go, so we don't have to worry about that. I know this is a new kind of set of streams. I will be doing this every Thursday. I'm very excited for it. Kingdom Hearts is very dear to my heart, and even as convoluted, crazy webbing of non-Occam's razor as it is, I do love it, and it holds a very special place in my heart. And I hope I'm able to show it in format. Yeah, series of streams. Yeah, it'll be a series of streams. I hope I'm able to share that with you guys too. Once again, these are streams. I'm Icarus. I dive in. Once again, it'll be every Thursday for Kingdom Hearts Chronicles, and that'll start at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We dive in tomorrow, technically Saturdays, at 12 o'clock a.m. Eastern time for Tales of Vesperia. We dive in with all of our friends. Epsilon's part of that, and we have a huge group that we go through together. On Sundays, we stream at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We will dive into Shantae again. I'll be doing some single player on that. And then on Tuesdays, we dive in at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Back in the Shantae for continuing that too. If you're going to leave now, may God bless you. Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope this was helpful. Once again, if you want any more questions, Damo, go to see Damo's channel. He's so good at it. It's great. All these are via VODs, so you can always go back and review if you ever need more lore stuff and stuff like that, because I know there's a lot here. Not all of it is super important, but it does play a part later, and I do think we need to see it. So, and for me too, I've never really experienced that part of the story, so use for us streams for me. So if you're going to leave, may God bless you. If you're going to stay, I am a believer in God's word, fight against the true darkness of the world, and I like to share a little bit of that with you in some of our devotionals that we share together. So we've been going through the book of Genesis, and I wanted to continue that today. Give me one moment. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So, speaking of the hubris of man and the danger of darkness and things building and sin building within one's heart, we've been going through the Genesis, and we just got through Noah and how Noah built the ark in faith, and God wiped the world, but preserved in Noah and in the future, kind of like the dandelions for the future, just like what we just experienced, moving forward with God's grace and love. But as we will learn, man is still sinful and hubris by nature. So the next story that we will cover is what is known by pretty much everyone as, hold on. Where is it? Desktop, there it is. The Tower of Babel. So this is the story of man's hubris and pride, building a tower for their own benefit and our own praise and worship of ourselves as an idol, and God's breaking down of those, like Iconoclast, or if you were there during those streams, breaking down of those idols for true worship for Him. So, without further ado, Genesis 11, 1 through 9. Hubris of man exemplified. Now the whole earth had one language and the same words. And as people migrated from east, they found the plain and land of Shinar and settled there, everyone together. And they said one to another, "Come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly." And they had brick for stone and bitumen for mortar. And they said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves. Let us be dispersed all over the face of the whole world. So the people are working together to make a great tower so they can work together and then work as one kind of big unit. Well, why is this a bad thing? Why would God have anything against this? Well, if you remember to what we just read with earlier with Noah, he specifically told Noah, be fruitful and multiply, expand throughout the earth and disperse so that you may all be all around the earth to cultivate and to worship my name in all different places. This is man saying, screw that, we're going to make a tower for our benefit, and we're going to make it to the heavens with our ingenuity, our strength, and our wit. I don't know about you, but this looks like a tower of idol worship for self-praise and humanism and humans' great achievements of progressive achievement and amazing self-worth to me. It doesn't seem to be pointing to God at all, the one who saved them and brought them out of the flood and gave them the land of Eden, which they spit on him and left from. So yeah, God was not very pleased with this. We weren't very pleased with this one. So, in order to get this to stop, the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of man had built. And the Lord said, behold, they are one people, and they have one language. This is only the beginning of what they will do, and nothing that they propose to do will be impossible for them. Now, let us go down in there and confuse their language, so they may not understand one another's speech. So in order to disperse them, we'll make it so they can't understand one another. What we can't understand, we sometimes have conflict with. So the Lord dispersed them from all over the face of the earth, and they left off building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth. And from there the Lord dispersed them all over the face of the earth. So the Lord split them up by dividing their language. And once again, it's like, well, why would he do that? Well, he says, the Lord, it's only the beginning. Nothing will be impossible for them. Why is it bad to stop people from doing impossible things? That's great. That's achievement. Achievement's good. It is. But you have to remember, us doing whatever we want, we are sinful by nature. And as Kingdom Hearts showed, as a good allegory, it's not real. It's a fictional part of the streams. But as it shows you an allegory, we will choose our selfish nature a lot. We will bicker and moan and complain with each other and look for power and prestige and our own benefit outside of others. Because as we know, none are perfect, no, not one. If humans are left to do their own, well, I mean, we saw what were left whenever the master or masters left and the other masters were left to themselves to start bickering and create their own problems. Though the masters have put a little bit in there. But here, the Lord is trying to, I think, split them up because it's like, look, if you guys stay together and you keep building for your own benefit, you're just going to enter into your own worship and your own praise, which is going to end up in vanity and empty futures and for yourselves, because you're not going to be worship. You're not going to be coming to me for worship and for fulfillment that only I can give. Remember, every human being is created with a hole in their heart only the Lord can fill, and outside of Him, there is no fulfillment of it. Not true fulfillment. There are partial fulfillments, absolutely, but nothing that will last forever. So I think the Lord saw this and was like, look, in order for their benefit, we have to split them up. So He went, bam, you're all split. Now, some people also believe that this is when Pangea, the original main land, was split up, or whenever the flood happened, it was maybe split up too. Kind of like with Kingdom Hearts, where all the worlds are split up. But I don't know about that. I have no idea. I haven't done a lot of research, but it's just a theory that's thrown around. Whether or not it happened doesn't really matter. Point is, the Lord split them up so that they would fulfill the promise that He made. Now, things aren't all bad, because what we're about, while He did split them up, and while the people did become hubris, what we're going to learn next is actually a story of the beginning of a huge covenant promise that will extend all the way to the eventual Savior of Christ. And the man that started it through his faith, kind of similar to how Noah did. And that's what we'll see this coming Saturday whenever we jump back into the streams. So, once again, thank you for joining me. I'm Icarus. These were the streams together. Our first deep dive into the Kingdom Hearts Chronicles. And I'm very excited for it. I'm so glad that you guys got to be here. I can't wait to dive into the actual main line of the adventures. And I think we're going to have a great time together. So may God bless every single one of you. Thank you for being here. And may God bless you. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now. This one. Bye for now, everyone. And may the Lord be, and his glory, and his love, and our love for him, be your guiding key.